Hello, everybody. We're dropping into your feeds on an irregular day today.
Ooh.
Because we have a special announcement.
Love special announcements.
This is the one that I teased that Sarah was unsure if she knew about.
I do know what it is now. We're good.
We had a staff meeting.
I caught up.
Yes, that's right. So we are so happy to announce that we are launching a Patreon community here at the Nebraska Statewide Arboretum. And you may be asking, what's that? Or some of you might be going, cool, Patreon, because I feel like you're one or the other person. Yes. Right? So Sarah, you follow some things on Patreon. What's
I do.
Patreon?
I'm not 100% clear, but when I subscribe to people on Patreon, I get extra stuff from them.
That's right.
I subscribe to a lot of podcasters on Patreon, and I get either early episodes or extra episodes, or sometimes their mess ups, which are fun.
Right. Mm-hmm. And we have a lot.
We have a lot. But ours isn't going to be just about the podcast. There'll be a little podcast on it.
Right. So this will be on Nebraska Statewide Arboretum Patreon. For $5 a month, you can join our Patreon community, and that subscription is completely under your control. So you can stop whenever you want. That's entirely up to you. But what you will get as part of that subscription is at the very least, you will get a weekly deep dive into a near native or native plant that is important to the ecosystems in Nebraska.
That is so cool. Like, Toby's been making these, and they're even more in depth than the Bloombox plant cards.
Oh my gosh.
If you love the plant cards, these are even more.
We mean in depth. There is information that we are digging up from the bowels of the internet. But it is important and it's good to know. So if that's something that you really want to learn more about, this subscription would be perfect for you. In addition to that, we're going to be putting out all kinds of just special fun things on there. So it might be a video from the greenhouse or out seed collecting with Bob, or it could be an extra podcast episode, or more of a deep dive in an episode. If you just are like, you're not sciencey enough, this might be the time. It's also going to be a lot more personable, I think, than our social media feeds might be. Our social media feeds are, of course, focused on providing really good information and information about NSA, but here on the Patreon, it's going to be a little bit more fun and interactive because you get to leave comments, you get to like things, similar to social media, but not the same. Don't worry, it's not going to drag you down.
No, and the fun thing about Patreon is that because it's a subscriber community, it's a little smaller than Facebook. We have kind of a lot of followers on Facebook, and that's
not to brag.
No, we don't brag here. That's a broad audience to curate information for, and as you join Patreon and we get to know you and who is part of that community, that gives us the chance to put out information that's very pertinent to you as a smaller group.
As well as just some special offers when we have leftover Spring Affair shirts and different merch items. It might be going to our Patreon subscribers first.
Yeah. I think it's going to be it's going to be fun to create content for this as we're out working on projects and in the greenhouse, in our new greenhouse that might be built any time.
Or never.
Or
no,
never.
It will be built.
We have a head house.
We just
don't have the greenhouse part yet.
That's right. Everything comes with time. So please subscribe. You can do it starting today. There's already stuff up there, people to interact with. Once again, you just do that at plantnebraska.org/Patreon, and that can help you out. If you are like, I don't know how to spell Patreon, neither do I. So you can just go to plantnebraska.org, and it'll be one of the first things up there.
There'll also be a link in the show notes.
Or the show notes, because Sarah reminds me about those. So thank you, everybody, for listening. This is an announcement as part of Member Appreciation Week. If you are a member, it's not too late to sign up for some of our upcoming events. So Wednesday, you have a Q&A with me. Yay, it's virtual, around noon Central. Thursday morning, a tour at the Lincoln Children's Zoo, which has limited spots left. And Friday, the capstone event. You get to ask all your questions virtually of Bob and Justin. So be sure to sign up for those if you want to make
sure your question gets in the lineup. You can go online and pre-enter your question.
Including sending pictures. You can send them photos. This is amazing. All right.
I think it's going to be fun.
Yes, I think so too. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening.